Hi everyone!
Hey!
J'ai entendu résonner. Check. Hey! Eh oh!
Cool!
Cool. This week we're going to be talking about making money on the road.
It's probably one of the questions we get the most online, just because, you're traveling all the time. Where does the money come from?
Yeah. So today we're going to be telling you about our backgrounds, what we studied, and how we started.
And then we're going to be talking about our main revenue streams, how we make money right now.
On the road.
Yeah.
And we're going to be giving you tips and tricks so you can attain financial stability
from your van.
While driving a car.
From your van.
From your van. Really just showing you the way we do it. It's feasible for us and it's really sustainable. And we're just giving you tips and tricks so you can
do it yourself. Yeah. We said it at the same time.
Oh, we're so connected.
Hallå.
So backgrounds. Let's start with our backgrounds. What did you study, sir?
I studied advertising at Laval University in Quebec City, and this is where I learned most of the skills we use today to make money. That being pitching your services, doing marketing plans, managing teams. Copywriting. Writing is very important. And basically this is where I learned everything we do today. But as soon as I was done my degree, though, I started freelancing for Canadian agencies across the province of Quebec. In these years, I was mainly in charge of, writing stuff for clients, producing images, photo images, video images. So I started my own little video production company, and I started reaching for my own personal clients. Just asked around if people needed help with their plans, with their marketing services, and I reached a few dozens of clients by the age of 25, until I met two guys in 2014 with whom I started the agency where I work at right now. It is called Orkestra, and we are specialized in event production, video production, and design at large. The reason why Orkestra is so important in the current project is because my partners understand the lifestyle I want to achieve with Marie here.
Yeah.
And we agreed on a very specific formula for me to work abroad or for me to work remotely.
Yeah.
So this is my background from 2007 until 2020. Oh man, I'm getting old.
You're getting old.
What about you?
Is that a bee?
Yeah. No, that's a mush.
Oh, they're reproducing. Look.
Oh, the mosquitoes are reproducing.
Beep, beep.
Okay, sorry.
I studied. My first bachelor's degree was actually in...
Your first bachelor's? You have two?
I do.
Whoa. Okay.
Did you not know that?
I'm not sure I know that.
So my first bachelor's degree was in kinesiology. I wanted to be a physiotherapy, a physical therapist at first. Then I did another bachelor's degree in education. After doing that, I combined the two first bachelor's degree, and I worked as a phys ed teacher for a year and as a French teacher for another 2 years. And that wasn't exactly what I was looking for, so I went back to school, did a master's degree in second language acquisition in education, and then after completing that, now I'm working on my Ph.D. in the same field. So my goal in the end is to work as a prof in a university, don't know which one, hopefully somewhere in like the Bahamas.
Bahama you.
So that's what I'm doing, something completely different from this guy. But then when I met you 4 years ago,
Everything changed.
everything changed. Da, da, da. Cue music. Like thunder music.
I can put that if you want. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Cue music. So when I met this guy 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Oh, we are getting old.
When I met this guy 4 years ago, he had Orkestra at the agency, and I started working as a communication specialist, social media manager for some of your clients, festivals mostly.
Yeah, and you never really done that before, right?
No, it was like...
But you knew how to write, you knew how to manage people, you knew how to manage ideas because you wrote so much at university.
I think I was mostly pretending at that time.
Well, you were good at it, so...
So then, from then on, I also started acting as a freelancer. So that's my background.
Yeah.
Very different from Dom's.
Yeah, totally different. Like on one side you have a, private, corporate America type of background. And on the other side you have this full-on education, PhD kind of background.
Yeah.
So together we're like A and
the
B.
Power Rangers. It's like Batman and Robin. I'm Batman.
No, I'm not wearing the green tights. No.
I have the fast car. C'est Batman, ça?
Hello, I'm Batman.
So revenue stream number 1 for me is Ph.D. So being a student is a full-time job. So every year from September to October, I have access to scholarships. Some are very interesting, others are not.
Yeah.
And in the past few years, I was given 2 main scholarships.
Large ones.
2 large ones in Canada, so I can concentrate full-time on that PhD. So basically they give you scholarships because they want you to study and to complete your research. To give you an idea, this year I received about $40,000 Canadian in scholarships. So that is allowing me to work full-time. Considering the van is pretty cheap and paid, it's
nice.
Sufficient money for one person to live.
And she works a lot because she has to ask for money, she has to meet people, she has to convince professors to give her the money. You have to pitch in front of committees and stuff, so it's super stressful.
It is stressful. It's really hard. It's really competitive. The first 2 years I didn't get it. I had a smaller scholarships.
You were not good enough.
Seriously though, it was the case. I wasn't there enough. You need to work on publications, on articles.
Yeah.
And I just didn't have the skills and the experience, and now I do. So fist pump me. Now, revenue stream number 2 for me, I also act as a research assistant and teacher assistant at the University of Ottawa. So research assistant is pretty simple. I work with other profs and colleagues working on articles, submitting them. And teacher assistant, profs often need help with exams, with managing the class, with working on the plant cours. I don't know what that is in English.
That's
on the syllabus.
The syllabus.
The syllabus?
Syllabus.
The syllabus.
That's a new word.
I also work as a teacher assistant. This year, I also gave my very first class online. So basically, I just fill in the application online. I believe I have like a maximum of 200 hours a year that I can do. And that pays around $50 an hour. So you can do the math. 50 times 200, $10,000.
I can't do that kind of math. No, I can't.
And then revenue stream number 3, I do this part-time. It used to be full-time, but now that I'm mostly working on my PhD, I do it part-time, and that's working as a content creator, social media manager. So basically what it is I program and create content, mostly on Facebook and in Instagram, for companies in consideration with their main strategy.
Strategies and objectives.
Right.
And you also take care of customer relationships.
I do also do that. So I have clients in Canada, one in the United States, and depending on the client, it ranges from 600 to 2,000 a month, depending on the time that needs to be put, depending on the audience, depending on the content that needs to be created.
And what's crazy about all this is all her jobs with the university and her own freelancing jobs can be done on the road.
Yes.
Because universities also like it when everything's online right now. So
well, especially when you're a PhD student, they don't have enough offices at the university for you, so they want you to work either from a cafe or a home, in my case from a van. And all I really need to do these 3 jobs is really just a laptop and Wi-Fi, so it's really feasible from the van.
Yep.
So how do you make money, considering you work in an agency?
Well, I am privileged enough to have partners and a creative team that is understandable enough to let me do this project right now.
Right.
So I have a team in Gatineau and Montreal, mainly creative people and project managers.
Right.
And they help me with different clients, although I'm remotely working from a van. So this is a very unique situation, but it's also a very nice one to have when you're trying to travel across the country.
Yeah.
I mainly work on small projects for the agency. I work on, obviously, the management of my own firm. My first revenue stream would be my agency.
Yeah.
So the second revenue stream for myself would be the documentary we're working on right now, which is on freelancers.
Right.
So in the last 2 years, we built relationship with financial sponsors, technical sponsors, so for all the gears and all the gear and everything, and we have
exposure.
So sponsors that help us with exposure.
Yeah.
When you combine the help we get from all these people, we can see how strong the financial support is and how much money we have to invest in the trip.
Right.
So we're always calibrating the expenses and
the incomes.
and the incomes to make sure this trip we're doing is viable, right? It's like a small business plan we've been working on for 2 years, and it's partly why we can afford a life on the road.
Right. So combined together, we have 5 main revenue streams.
Yeah.
My Ph.D, so my scholarships, working full-time on this. Research and teacher assistant,
Yeah.
part-time for me. And my social media contract, part-time as well.
Yeah.
You have your agency, and you have your documentary, full-time on the documentary now, but
Yeah.
usually full-time on the agency.
Yeah.
So let's say combined we make
Around $130,000 and $150,000 Canadian a year.
Canadian
Together.
together.
So that's the importance of teamwork, if you can, as a couple.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, how can you make money on the road? You don't need to be a PhD student, and you don't need to own a marketing agency to make money on the road, and we'll show you why.
After the break. No, I think there's an actual break.
What do you mean?
There's an advertising break.
Now, tricks and tips for you to become sustainable on the road.
Yes. Being a freelancer is by definition being a one-person business.
Yeah.
So if you are becoming a one-person business, you will need a business plan. That's what I learned in school. And if you don't have a business plan, you won't be able to pull off anything financially sustainable on the road.
Yeah. Now, you don't need a big business plan. You don't need that 50-page document to start working as a freelancer. It can be something that you understand, you only, but you do need a plan in the long term.
So, in your one-page business plan, you can write down the following items. So here's the 60-second business plan. First item, your problem. A description of the problem or need your customers could have. Second item, your solution. Your product or services that you are trying to offer customers in order to solve their problem. Your third item would be your business model. How will you make money, including the cost of production and selling of your services? Your fourth item would be your target market. Who are your customers and how many of them are there? Your fifth item would be your competitive advantage. What makes you different from your competition? Your sixth item would be your team or resources. Who are you working with? What is your network like? Who are your main resources? And finally, your financial summary. The key financial metrics including profit and losses over year 1, year 2, and year 3. Another tip, apart from being tight on your business plan, would be to stack the odds in your favor. You need to lower your expenses. Don't leave on the road with a credit card that is full, with rent that you have to pay, with all the big expenses from a day-to-day life in the city, because you probably won't be able to pay all this in the long run.
Exactly. So when we left on the road, we made sure we had almost no expenses back home. We rented the condo, so no expenses there.
Yep.
I suspended the license and the plates on my car, and the
Everything.
car was already paid, so no expenses there. So basically all we have to pay for
Is a van.
is the van, the food, and the gas, things that we would normally pay if we lived in the city in the house.
So making more money is also making less expenses.
Right.
That's a way to see it.
Yeah.
A second tip we would give you is to get some help. Sometimes we try to do everything alone. Even us at the beginning were like, no, we don't need your help.
Yeah.
We can figure it out. Until someone showed up and say, I can help you to build the van. I can help you meet this kind of people. I can introduce you to a tourism board. And at one point I looked at Marie and I was like, maybe we need a few helpers here and there to make the process a bit faster. And that's totally fine.
Yeah.
It's okay to ask for help when you're trying to start your own business.
And the third thing would be to plan for the worst. Now, if you think the first month you'll be making $2,000, think you'll be making
Zero.
1,000. Yeah, or zero.
Or zero. And the way we do that is we do 3 scenarios. We do a pessimistic scenario where everything crashes, and 2020 was a good example of that because the crisis hit very hard on the clients, the sponsors, and everybody.
Yeah.
We have a neutral scenario where everything goes okay. And
According to plan.
According to plan. And we have an optimistic scenario where we're like, oh, wow, we have a few good surprises here and there, and we can do stuff that we didn't plan for.
Yeah.
So these are the 3 scenarios you have to put on a piece of paper before leaving.
Yeah. But one thing that you need to know when starting a business, because becoming a freelancer is similar to starting a business, you will need to work your off.
Yeah, and that's probably the main tip we have to give you today. Although on Instagram you see all these beaches, all the travel we do, all the fun we have, and we have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Don't get us wrong. The work days are very long and very hard.
Yeah.
Like she works on her Ph.D. She calls students, she calls prof. I have online Skype meetings with my partners, with my team, etc., etc. We have to work a lot. Most of the people we know that live on the road work a lot.
Very, very hard.
Like they work with their cell phones, laptops, they're always on the phone, you know, trying to make some appointments, trying to make sure the work is okay, etc. So if you're trying to be sustainable while on the road, you're gonna have to work. Unless you want to do the stack and go technique, which would be you work a lot and save for like, let's say 2 years, and then you just travel
And stop.
and stop.
It's like a sabbatical, actually.
Yeah, and that's a very good option as well. We have friends that leave for 6 months, they come back and work. They leave for 6 months, they come back and work, and that's also a very good idea. It's just a different way to live on the road.
Right. So that's what it is. That's how we make money on the road. Again, very different options and solutions for you to make money on the road. We know people that make money off of their Instagram account.
Yeah.
We know people that make money out of their YouTube account. We have friends that
They give surf lessons,
Instructors.
climbing lessons, etc.
they
So
sell their craft.
they make money off their skill sets, and that's totally fine.
So I think the best option for you would be to determine what that skill set is, what do you want to do, and start planning from there.
Yeah. You always have to touch a part of my face when we're done. It's like,
My hands are always like really awkward.
okay, so when you're done a sentence, just put your hands in your face. And that's it.